Just like everything in life, One Piece will also come to an end. And obviously, it won't be just the anime that concludes. The Straw Hat crew will also go their separate ways, just as it happened with Whitebeard's crew and Goldie Roger's crew. But the question is, how will they separate? What will happen for each of them to follow their own path? What will the dreams of the Straw Hats be after finding the One Piece and making Luffy the Pirate King? Come closer, because that's exactly what I'm going to show you. When the journey of the Straw Hat Pirates finally comes to an end, it won't be abrupt or without purpose. The crew we followed for so many years, bound by ties as strong as their shared dream of finding the One Piece, will only go their separate ways once each member has fulfilled their greatest life goal. When the individual dreams of each crewmate are realized, that may be the moment for each to follow their own path. Luffy will have achieved his greatest dream, becoming the Pirate King. From the very beginning, this has always been the purpose of his journey and what kept the crew together. When he finds the One Piece and takes his place as king, it will be the culmination of his story. Zoro, on the other hand, will also have fulfilled his promise to Kuina by becoming the world's greatest swordsman. Zoro's final destiny has always been tied to his battle against Dracula Mihawk, and when that fight happens and he emerges victorious, his life's mission will be complete. Nami has always dreamed of drawing a map of the entire world. After so many adventures with the Straw Hats, it's likely that she will have charted all the islands and seas across the globe. This dream, which began with a young navigator trapped under Arlong's rule, will finally become a reality alongside her crewmates. Sanji, the cook who seeks to find the All Blue, will also complete his life's mission. That legendary sea, where fish from all the world's oceans gather, is the ultimate prize for a chef of the seas. And when Sanji finally finds it, he'll be able to prepare the finest dishes the world has ever seen. Usopp, who started as the great liar, will finally become the great warrior of the seas he always claimed to be. Chopper, who has always dreamed of becoming the greatest doctor in the world, one capable of curing any disease, will likely find a way to achieve that dream by learning from different cultures and doctors across the world. Nico Robin, on the other hand, has always wished to uncover the true history of the world and the Void Century. Once she finally deciphers the poneglyphs and the truth behind the world's creation is revealed, Robin will have fulfilled her greatest desire. Frankie, with his dream of building the perfect ship and sailing around the world, may continue constructing legendary vessels or even create a fleet of ships to protect what the Straw Hats have achieved after their journey ends. Finally, Brook has always dreamed of reuniting with Laboon. When that finally happens after so many years apart, he may choose to stay by his old friend's side.
Roger had a few words with Rayleigh. A man known as the Dark King was his oldest friend and confidant. Then Roger disembarked.
If we analyze other famous crews like the Pirate Kings and Whitebeards, we see that their dissolution happened in a dramatic way. Roger's crew disbanded after he found the One Piece. Since they had already achieved their goal and Roger was nearing the end of his life, the crew went their separate ways. The same happened with Whitebeard's crew. After Edward Newgate's death in the Marineford War, his crew broke apart, and each member followed their own path. The death of their captain, who was the heart of the crew, made them lose their purpose, just like what happened with Goldie Roger's crew. And what if the Straw Hat Pirates follow the same path? We know this crew is incredibly united, with bonds forged through life-or-death situations. But what would happen if Luffy, the leader and soul of the crew, were to die? Just as Roger and Whitebeard's crews disbanded after their captains' deaths, it's possible that Luffy's crew would also dissolve if he were no longer there to lead them. If the Straw Hats achieve their dreams, each of them may go their own way. However, a tragedy involving Luffy could accelerate this separation. And this leads us to the big question, why and how will Luffy die?
What was that you said about being king? You're nothing.
You may not have realized it, but Luffy is paying a very high price for his transformations, and it's slowly killing him. No, I'm not talking about Gear 5th. Although this form leaves Luffy completely drained, exhausted, and worn out, the truth is that every time he eats, he seems to recover quickly and jump back into the fight. Besides, Nika's form has a comedic tone, and there are no clear signs that it's irreversibly damaging his health. It's also not Gear 3rd. At first, this form caused problems, leaving Luffy shrunken, but over time he learned to control the transformation and practically eliminated its side effects. But then there's Gear 2nd. This is the transformation that's taking a brutal toll on him, one that many might not have noticed right away. This is the transformation that is truly killing Luffy every time he uses it. To activate Gear Second, Luffy forces his heart to pump blood at an extremely high speed, making his entire circulatory system work far beyond the normal limits of a human body. He is essentially overloading his own body, as if forcing a machine to operate far beyond its safe capacity. And here's the problem. The heart was not made to function at such high speeds for extended periods. Every time Luffy uses Gear Second, he's forcing his heart to work harder than it should, weakening the heart muscle over time. This could lead to heart failure, a condition where the heart loses its ability to pump blood effectively. With a weakened heart, Luffy's entire body would become compromised, and in the long run, his health could deteriorate drastically. So yes, with every activation of Gear Second, Luffy is edging closer and closer to his end.
It's your life! Give us a good show!
Another factor that is shortening Luffy's life is something that happened a long time ago during the Marineford War and at Impel Down. Emporio Ivankov, a revolutionary and Dragon's comrade, used his miraculous hormones to save Luffy on 2 critical occasions. These hormones gave Luffy the chance to keep fighting when he was on the brink of death, restoring his vitality and allowing him to face impossible enemies. But like all miracles, this came at a very high price. When Ivankov injected the healing hormones into Luffy's body, he warned that it would shorten the Straw Hat Captain's lifespan. In other words, Luffy may have gained time to fight in crucial moments, but each of those injections cost him precious years of his life. The combination of these factors puts Luffy in a worrying situation. Gear Second, which wears down his body with every use, and Ivankov's injections, which have already reduced his life expectancy, mean that Luffy is literally living on borrowed time. He may seem strong and invincible now, but the cost of these choices and battles is starting to add up. But what will happen after the crew separates?
Zoro! Sanji!
Nami, hurry up!
Nami! Heavy! Sorry! But I'm dead!
Brook would finally find the peace he had always sought by reuniting with Laboon, the great whale who waited for him for so many years, becoming his loyal companion. Together, they would travel the world, with Laboon literally carrying Brook so he could perform his shows across the globe. Nico, Robin, and Nami would also find new purposes in their lives, becoming teachers for children from different parts of the world. Nami would finally be able to use her vast knowledge of navigation and geography to teach without the restrictions imposed by the world government. Robin, with her extensive knowledge, would teach the true history of the world. She would educate others about the Void Century and the importance of understanding the past to create a fairer future. Roronoa Zoro might settle down with Hiyori, and together, they would have children. Zoro would continue honing his skills, always following his code of honor and protecting his new family with the same dedication he once showed for Luffy and his crew. Sanji, on the other hand, would continue spreading his love for cooking, but with a small twist. Unable to love just one woman, he would end up bringing both Pudding and Viola to work with him at Barati after Zeph finally retired. Chopper would become the world's greatest doctor, achieving his dream of finding a cure for any disease. Usopp, the great liar who became the great warrior of the seas, would finally gain recognition among various tribes and people across the world. He would be revered by the Tontatas, Shandorians, Elbafians, and many other races. As for Luffy, if he were to survive, he would continue sailing the world in search of parties and endless food.
I am Monkey D. Luffy, the man who will surpass you. And I'm gonna be King of the Pirates!
That was today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and comment on the video. Then subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you won't miss the next videos. Take care, and see you next time.